Welcome to the last aspect of the variation. After treating direct variation, inverse variation, joint variation, we want to look at the last part that we call the partial variation. When the variation is expressed as a sum of terms, we refer to that type of variation as partial. For instance, if I have y is equal to a plus ax, we read it as y is partially constant and partially varies with x. The letter is a. This letter a here, as you have, is the constant of that variation. If we continue the same for k, say b, then we will have bk in that case if we continue. But when constant multiplied by a constant, it is also a constant. So what we do is to apply another constant to serve as that constant, as we do in other variables. So for instance, the statement t varies partially as r. When we make a statement t varies partially, when we say t varies partially, if we say t varies partially as r and partly as the inverse of x. So it is represented as, it implies that it can be represented as what? T is equals to AR plus B inverse of what? X. Now, where this A and this B are the constant of proportionality. So that's how we represent it. The first one, if we have a constant and another one varies with it. So A here, this is the first constant, this is the second constant. That's in the case where we have two direct relationships. One in partial and the other one in direct variation. So why the second one? The first one is direct and the second one is inverse. So that is what has been represented here. So now, what next? How do we apply these two phenomena? We want to go now to solve a question and apply it accordingly. So please, if you have not yet on your notification buttons, please do that now, so that you'll be the first to get these questions, these classes immediately uploaded. So join me as we treat this partial one of the questions we'll choose to explain this topic. So join me and kindly pay attention. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. Okay, let's look at this question here. Is a question that we have to apply partial fraction to solve. So how do we go about it? The cost of sewing a garment is partially constant. So let's C be the cost. C is partially constant. So K, right, varies with the amount of time. So varies with time. So let T be my time. It takes to sew it. And you know the rule. The rule for us, before we can continue, we have to introduce a constant for the other part of the question. So then I will have my cost, introducing a constant, introducing a constant. Let my constant be B. Let my constant be B. Let it be B. Maybe my constant D. So I'll have my C is equals to K plus BT. All right. Now, in case 1, condition 1, the question says, if it takes 6 hours to sew the garment, the cost will be, condition 1, it takes 6 hours, the cost will be 2,800 is equals to K plus B 600. Is that taken? Okay. And condition 2 will be, if it takes 10 hours, the cost will be 3,600 will be K plus, this one is, sorry, this is 6 hours, not 600. This one is 6 hours, the time. Okay, so it's B6, then B 10 hours. So I have two equations here. So that means I have two unknowns, equation 2. So it forms a simultaneous equation. It forms a what? Simultaneous equation. And because it's a simultaneous equation, I will solve it simultaneously. Okay? So how will I solve this? Very simple. Subtracting equation 1 from equation 2, subtracting equation 2 from 1, and we have 2, 8 minus this 3, 600 is equals to k minus k plus 6b minus plus 10b. Is that taken? So 2,800 minus 3,600 will be what? Minus 800. K minus k, we cancel out k. So I have my 6b minus times plus will be equals to minus 10b. Okay? So if I bring it up here, I'll be having minus 800 equals to what? Minus 4b. Let's look for b. So what do I do? Divide both sides by coefficient of b. What's the coefficient of b? That is minus 4. So I will say minus 800 divided by minus 4 is equal to minus 4b divided by minus 4. This cancel this. Minus cancel minus. This gives me 200. So my b is equal to what? 200. Similarly, I can now find my k from equation 1. From equation 1. What is equation 1? 2,800 minus is equals to k plus 6b. K plus 6b. Where b is 200, so I'll say 2,800 is equals to k minus 6 times 200. That gives me k minus 1,200. So 2,800. So what do I do? My k will now be equal to 2,800. When this constant is coming to this side, it becomes plus 1,200. That makes it 4,000. Now let's now go to the question proper. The question now says find the cost of find C. We are looking for find C when t is equals to 4 hours. Are you with me? When t is equals to 4 hours. So from the same expression we have already established. We established that C is equals to k plus bt. The first constant k is what? 400. The second constant b is what? 4,000. This one is 200 times the time in question. The time 4 hours. 4 hours times 4. The cost, that's what we are looking for. So we now say 4,000 plus 800. So the cost will now be 4,800. I believe you have followed and you have understood what is being talked about. This is how simple that partial variation can be. Ability first, interpret the question. Secondly, put them into equations and solve. Okay? I will be, the next slide, I will give you a few questions on this topic that you can solve and send to me via the comment section. Thank you.